listening to the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show. Listener discretion is advised at all times.
Hello and thank you once again for downloading and listening to another episode of the Ricky and Clive Wrestling Show, part of the Social Suplex Podcast Network. My name's Clive and I'm joined once again by Ricky. How are you tonight, Ricky?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Yourself?
Aye, good. It's good to have you back on after a couple of weeks off. Obviously, as this podcast is being recorded, Wrestle Kingdom has not long happened, so obviously there's going to be a few people who haven't seen it yet. It's still a bit early, and through the time slots and stuff, it's going to be a day or so before people are going to be able to see it proper, so we're going to avoid spoilers and not really talk about it this week. Maybe we can touch on it next week. Is that alright with yourself, Ricky?
Yeah, that's fine, because I know, I don't think you've watched the full card anyway.
Not yet, no.
And I know John Ross hasn't either. He's currently watching it. Whether he gets a chance to finish it tonight, I'm not sure. I've watched it. I watched it earlier on today. Just before we continue, if you don't mind, I'd just like to say a couple of things. Most of it's about the Wrestle Kingdom, WWE, and just sort of general wrestling. I'm not one to say to people, oh, you should go do this, go watch this, you know, and force my opinions down people's throats. But I'm going to sort of contradict myself here.
Right.
For everyone who listens, Wrestle Kingdom is a must-watch. As you know, me and yourself are not avid followers of the product. We know bits and pieces about it. So I went into watching this pay-per-view almost sort of blind, because I knew the build-up to Jericho and Omega. The title match between Okada and Naito. I knew Naito won was at the G1. I don't know what the build's been like outside that. I don't even know what Ibushi and the Cody Rhodes build was like either. So I went into it like sort of blind and just sort of oblivious to everything that's happened and the build up to it, and just wanted to just sort of watch the product and the wrestling itself. And I tell you, I wasn't a follower of it before, but from now on I will be keeping up to date with this product, because that fucking blew me away.
Really?
It was so amazing, so special. The Fatal 4-Way was, without a doubt, probably my favourite match. And again, I'm not going to say too much, but it's great. And that's saying something, because Jericho and Omega was just 35 minutes of just an adrenaline rush. The main event was also good. Cody match was good, and the Young Bucks match was good. But what I want to say is just, my main point is, I was on Twitter quite a lot during the day and at night. There's this general conception that you have to sort of either be a WWE fan or a New Japan fan or a Ring of Honor. And I just want to say, like, I think for anyone out there, like, it's all right to watch all types of wrestling. You can be a WWE fan as well as a New Japan fan. If you want to be just a WWE fan, that's fine. Or you want to be just a New Japan fan, that's fine. Like, too much, it's almost like, oh, if you don't watch this, you're not cool enough. Mm-hmm. Or you only watch this product, like, what's wrong with you? Like, you don't like this person, what's wrong with you? And too many people try to force their opinions down people's throats, and it's like, look, if you don't like a certain product, if you don't like a certain type of match, type of wrestler, that's fine. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm this massive Kenny Omega fan, Mark, or even the Young Bucks. Like, if you don't like the Young Bucks, then that's fine. It's not an issue. There's nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. I sent you that link to, was it the Ring of Honor pay-per-view, like a few weeks back, when they'd done that sort of sequence, and it was like a lot of people were saying different things about it, with the super kicks and drop kicks and stuff. Uh-huh. I personally say to you, at the time when I watched it, I found it very cringy. But a lot of people take those little wee gifs and gifs or whatever you want to call it and assume that's what Young Bucks are all about. The Bucks, it was the first time in a while, I think, a good while, probably about a year, that I sat and watched a proper Young Bucks match, and I was fucking blown away with them.
I've seen...
They are really, really fucking good. So I knew that beforehand, but I hate this conception that you can sum up a wrestler or whatever in the space of just a couple of highlights, and that's not the case. But at the same time, if you don't like them, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And the same goes with Omega. Same goes with if you like Roman Reigns, that's fine. Don't let other people tell you otherwise. If you don't like AJ Styles, that's fine. I think nowadays too many people are trying to force their opinions on other people in quote unquote what they think is cool to watch. At the end of the day, everyone's got different tastes and opinions on different things. I like a certain type of wrestling as well, but I'm also one for that sort of like quote unquote spot fest if you want as well.
Mm-hmm.
What I like to say is the product last night, but that pay per view was top to bottom was mind blowingly good. But basically, that's what I wanted to just say was like, guys, it's fine to like one product over another, or you can like them all. You don't have to get stuck in this where you need to pick and choose who you like and what you don't like. At the end of the day, wrestling's a subjective thing, and no one's right ultimately in what product they might prefer and what kind of wrestling they prefer. So I would really advise folk to go watch Wrestle Kingdom, but please go into it with no preconceived notion of what you think's going to happen or you want to happen. Just go in and just sort of ignore everything and just enjoy the wrestling, because the wrestling was top notch.
Very well put, Ricky, I have to say. I couldn't really... I think a couple of the guys, Caleb and Carol from the SMC Wrestling Podcast, had mentioned this same thing that you've been talking about, where you've got some folk, fuck New Japan or fuck WWE, I'll watch this because it's better than the other. Watch what you want to watch. Apart from seeing the odd matches that have been recommended to me, I was basically a Wrestle Kingdom virgin up until tonight when I started watching it. I'm onto the hair v hair match at the moment, and I have enjoyed it. I've not got any idea, like some of them, I've not really got any idea what the storyline leading up to them is, apart from a couple of the ones later on. So I'm still, but it's because it's like a blank canvas, I'm just watching it for the wrestling, and I did enjoy the Young Bucks match. It wasn't a very serious one, just like the dropkick party that they had or whatever it was, but I have seen them in the past have really good matches. They had what was it? It was Young Bucks and AJ Styles versus Kingdom, I think they were called, at Ring of Honor a couple of years ago, and that was just, it was like a spot fest, but it was insanely good. And there was also a Ring of Honor's version of a TLC match. What's it called again? Can you remember off the top of your head?
No, see, this is where John Ross would come in. Because his knowledge is really good.
Ladder War, I think it is.
Right.
And it was a three-way tag match, and it was some devastating stuff they were pulling off. Really, yeah. I don't know how Christopher Daniels is still alive after that particular match. The absolute destruction that he was on the receiving end of. So I think it's just, I've actually done a lot of, I wouldn't say soul searching, but just taking a back seat and thinking about things, and I'm actually a lot more positive about WWE heading into the new year. But I'm more than open to take on other things. I've been toying with getting into a bit more of the other independent promotions. The only thing that's holding me back isn't opinion or bias towards WWE. The thing that's holding me back is just time, basically. Mm-hmm. There's only so much time when I've got work and a family and stuff like that, so if there was 30 hours in a day, that would be ideal, but sadly there's not.
That's also the issue for me. It's a struggle enough to fit in the WWE product with, obviously, we're both got full-time work and we've both got kids, so you've also got Raw, Smackdown, a pay-per-view sort of every second week, and it's like, where do you fit all this in? But I think just to summarise it, really, I was on Twitter a couple of weeks ago, it was last week, and it was Kevin from the SMC podcast, Kev on Twitter. Kevin, he put out a tweet, and I just basically says, I think both of us are bad for it. I remember you chimed in on it as well, that we get too caught up in creative and too caught up in booking rather than just sitting back and watching it, watching the match. And I sort of that was my attitude getting into Wrestle Kingdom this morning. It was just a case of like, I'm not even going to bother doing any research on the build up to any of these. I'm just wanting to watch the product just to see some of these guys and see what the hype's all about. And let's be honest, like I've said stuff about the Young Bucks, and they might not be to everyone's taste, but those guys are fucking excellent. Omega is just like truly is like phenomenal when I've seen him, and I've watched maybe half a dozen New Japan matches prior to today at most, and fun enough, and I don't think it's a coincidence, Okada was involved in every single one of those matches.
He is a legend.
He
already.
is just so powerful, so big, it's so smooth. It almost seems so effortless. So again, I don't want to give too much away from the Wrestle Kingdom later on, but that title match was excellent as well. Overall, like I say, people just need to just enjoy whatever you want to watch, enjoy whatever you like watching, and don't let other people tell you otherwise, except now obviously, because I really do recommend watching Wrestle Kingdom highly. And final point is, I want to give a shout out to Keeping It Strong Style, guys on the on the Social Suplex Network as well. Those guys, I've listened to a few of their podcasts and their knowledge is unbelievable, and that's one of the reasons why I watched it. Another reason was John Ross, because I'm constantly picking his brain, asking him stuff, and he can't speak highly enough of the product, so that was one of the reasons as well why I wanted to watch this. But like I say, it's just overall, folks, just enjoy wrestling because it's phenomenal. And watching this pay-per-view today just reaffirmed my absolute love of pro wrestling.
Excellent. You're in a good mood tonight, Ricky. Fantastic stuff.
I am. I don't have too much to complain about the general product. I mean, I could if I wanted to, but for me right now, the good sort of outweighing the bad, I suppose.
Aye. It's outweighing the bad for me. There are things that are doing my box in on WWE, but I'm basically just choosing to ignore them. And I don't know if you remember me talking about SummerSlam. Like, I basically skipped several chunks of the pay-per-view, and because of that I enjoyed what I watched.
That's it.
I mean, I know that's not really fair on the wrestlers, but it's rather, I'm not moaning about it, I'm keeping myself happy.
But sometimes even though like today's pay-per-view there was 7 or 8 matches or something like that in total, was it?
9 I think, can't remember exactly, not finished yet obviously.
Sometimes it's overload. But see, when for instance, for today, when the wrestling was that good from just about every single match, so it doesn't matter how long this is going, because I'm not missing a single match here. In terms of sometimes with SummerSlam, there's some matches that are just thrown on almost like fillers to make up some time. You don't need that on. It's sort of overkill of a product, but you've just sort of, like you said, you just sort of skip through it. And that's sometimes what you get the feeling with sometimes with WrestleMania as well, that you feel like you could probably skip at least half of that and still feel like, oh well, that was money well spent.
I mean, you shouldn't skip it. They should put on something that's excellent from bell to bell, but if it's not to your taste, just don't watch it. Don't fill your mind with bile and just bad negative thoughts.
Yep. And the last thing about Wrestle Kingdom, and that's what was so good about the pay-per-view earlier on today, that there didn't seem to be sort of a filler match. It just maybe there was, maybe I was oblivious to it because, like I said, I don't know the build-up to it and I don't know the guys that intimately, and I just enjoyed it. So
for all we know, there could have been a few matches that had bad booking or the wrong person went over in a certain match. We don't know. Exactly,
and that was sort of you sort of felt like a kid again in a sense. You just didn't care about who won and etc. Like, you were just enjoying it. Yep. You almost felt, like I say, when you were younger, but you wanted the good guy to beat the bad guy. But now it's just a case of, just let me see just some really good wrestling, and it delivered.
I'm looking forward to watching the rest of it in the morning. You'd mentioned the Social Suplex Network there, and I've got a wee mini announcement for you. Social Suplex Podcast Network wants to hook you up with a wrestling t-shirt. So it's a wee giveaway we're organising. Here's how it will work. Basically what you do is leave a rating and a review on either Stitcher or Apple Podcasts. As far as I'm aware, that's a new name for iTunes. So once you've done that rating and review, obviously you want to give that a 6-star review if possible. You send a screenshot, like a screen snapshot capture of the rating and review, and send it to either the DM box on Twitter and Facebook at Ricky and Clive, just messages, or you can also go straight to Keeping It Strong Styles Jeremy at socialsuplex.com, so email it to Jeremy at socialsuplex.com. At the end of this month, we will randomly select a winner, and if you are that winner, send an email to Jeremy at socialsuplex.com, basically which shirt you want. So it's I'm guessing it's going to be a wrestling shirt you want, not a Celtic away tilt or something like that.
For our American listeners, if we have any, if you're unaware who Celtic are, they are one of the most popular teams in the world.
Glasgow Celtic. So basically, send which shirt you want with your size and your address, and we'll get that sorted for you. So a wee giveaway for Social Suplex Podcast Network's listeners, and it's a wee thank you for your attention so far. Nice wee bit of housekeeping there. I'm glad I remembered that. And thanks for doing the shout outs for the other podcasts as well. So you've got Keeping It Strong Style, the SMC Wrestling Podcast,
One Nation Radio.
Rich Latner's been tearing it up on a new app called Anchor, which is basically, it's the best find that Rich has ever done. This is going to change the podcasting game, I think. Anchor, it's basically, you can do all the podcasts that you want from your phone, and that's it. You don't need any hardware, anything like that. It's top notch. My own current Anchor app address thingamajig is anchor.fm/205 Clive. Do you like that? Do you like that wee username there? It's clever, isn't it?
It's excellent. 205 your baby.
Well, not so much anymore.
It
was. But as we just said, we're trying to keep positive, so just ignoring the shite stuff.
Oh, by the way, did you happen to see Neville when you drove past Newcastle?
No.
I thought he would have been thingy stadium, whatever it's called again, fucking Newcastle Stadium, whatever it's called. St James's. No, it's changed out. It was like Sports Direct Arena or some pish like that.
Oh, so it did. Listeners, I was on travels to see the in-laws, and we were driving past Newcastle, which is Neville's hometown, and I was just looking out the window to see if he was there moaning and sulking and putting someone in the rings of Saturn and stuff like that, but sadly I didn't see him.
Just to also clarify, Clive's in-laws are not related to Neville, just in case folk were getting confused there.
I'm confused myself now.
Let's move on.
Shall we talk about wrestling? WWE?
What the hell have we been doing? Why not? Let's move on.
So, I don't know about yourself, but I think over the space of, I found it quite odd that Christmas Day and New Year's Day they had like a Raw and a Smackdown the day after. So nobody's going to be paying much attention to them, but they were not really filler episodes as far as I'm concerned. It was quite an eventful couple of weeks of telly, and it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. So, and I think over the Christmas period, SmackDown's quickly improved. Would you agree with that? Maybe not quickly, but it's better than it has been.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's an indictment of what it has been like. So, but sticking with the staying positive, I think it is like for instance, I genuinely think we're starting to gear up towards a potential Daniel Bryan return.
Right.
For a long time I felt it wasn't going to happen, but I think I said it a few weeks back. I just had a feeling that he might return. And I think I got a feeling we're starting to gear towards it. I think. I also says in our that I believe the title match at the Royal Rumble with KO and Sammy versus AJ, that I think that's going to be the start of the split between KO and Sammy. And what would be quite interesting and sort of a real twist and a surprise would be if it was Sammy who turned on KO.
I was thinking that myself.
I don't know how Owens would do as a face. I don't know if I would like to see him as a face, but it might just give that a different dimension from before. Smackdown title scene as well. It's looking alright, especially with Shelton and Gable obviously getting the quote-unquote win and SmackDown there, and ultimately the match restarted, which was a good match as well.
Yes, I liked that actually. I think
Bludgeon Brothers, like, you know, we're very high on Luke Harper.
Mm-hmm.
Not a fan of what they're doing to the fashion police right enough, but
at least they're wrestling.
Yeah, it's true, it is, but I just hope now they don't get lost in the shuffle again. They built up this sort of momentum, even though it wasn't so much for what they were doing in the ring, but a lot of people were still interested in their segments. And the US title tournament, I'm very interested to see what they're going to do with Dolph here.
He's obviously not finished with this story, is he?
And I think I like it. I know I've saw things on Twitter, people saying, why would we suddenly care about a title that a guy just decided he doesn't want and he's given up? Well, fine, like, I understand where you're coming from, but it's a twist, and I think you're putting Dolph back into the spotlight, and I don't know, I would love to see Bobby Roode win it, but I don't want to see Bobby Roode versus Dolph Ziggler again.
I know, we've had that already.
So quick, that was only a couple of months ago. So maybe say somebody like Jinder wins it and Dolph comes back as a face, perhaps. Which I'd be up for that. So I think Dolph is coming back in the US title tournament. It's got a bit of intrigue in it as well. I would have loved to have seen Rusev in it, if I'm honest. Shout out to Rusev, because that Rusev Day t-shirt is the number one seller in the WWE shop. So yeah, overall SmackDown, see, now that I'm saying what I've said, SmackDown's actually, when I think about it, it has dramatically improved.
See, once you verbalise what's been going on, it's decent. I watched the Boxing Day one and I thought, this is not bad at all. It's as if, since Jinder is now not the champ, the balance has been restored. There's a clear hierarchy and ladder. So, like with the women, you've obviously got the build up to the Royal Rumble. So whatever they're doing, it's not like they're in a holding pattern at the moment. They're not advancing too many storylines because it's all about just getting to the Rumble, and we'll talk about that in a wee while. But the tag team division, I'm very happy that, let me first and foremost say that the New Day versus Usos was possibly, like, arguably the feud of the year last year.
Yep.
Just sterling wrestling matches that went on for months, sterling segments, the rap battle that they had.
The rap battle was arguably the segment of the year.
I was not looking forward to it happening, but when I watched it, it was excellent. And to be fair, I was annoyed that New Day won. I don't think that was correct.
No, wait, was it not declared a draw?
No, I can't remember, but the Usos definitely had better stuff said. But while I enjoyed that tag team feud immensely, I'm really happy that they've actually remembered, whoever it is, Road Dogg, Vince, whoever, they've remembered that they've got a tag team division there, and it's very well laid out now. So you've got New Day and American Alpha 2. I like that American Alpha 2 got the pin, because it shows that even though there was a technicality, like an error in who was pinned, they are able to pin the tag team champs. They're able to get that win if need be. Right? Sorry to cut you off.
I think what it also shows is, remember when Dean, quote unquote, beat Seth? Was it Elimination Chamber? It wasn't a pay-per-view, it was like a live event they put on a network, remember? And
say that again, sorry?
Remember when Dean beat Seth at that live event they put on the network?
Yep, that was
title?
Aye.
And then Dean ran away with the title. I think it's sort of similar to that almost. You just want to see how people react to it, and people did react to it. People were happy with it. So I think that sort of might have played in, because you sort of tease them winning, and then you just sort of get a slight idea, is this going to be received well? So if it was or it wasn't, you could potentially do it further down the line, or you could just ignore it.
Aye. So I'm enjoying it. As I said, it's very well levelled. So you've got the main event of the tag team scene going on. You've got Aiden English and Rusev battling it out with the New Day, and I like how they've carried that over into singles action as well, with when you had Xavier versus English in the US tourney.
Mm-hmm.
So they're keeping that rivalry going in different formats rather than just tag wrestling. So that's your sort of mid-card of the tag scene. And then your lower mid-card, you've got Bludgeon Brothers decimating the Fashion Police, with the Ascension being their failed bodyguards. So the Ascension have actually got something to do. It might be a wee bit shit what they're doing, but they've all got something going on at the moment. And it's clear cut. You know who's on top, you know who's at the bottom. No nonsense going on. The US title tourney, you and I love a good tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the Gold Rush tournament in 2005, the Edge one?
Aye.
That was a classic, that one, and just all the tournaments over the years, the King of the Ring, wish that came back. With the title scene, the main event, I'm not really sure what to make of the recent announcement that the title match is going to be a handicap with AJ Styles versus Team Sami and Kevin. I've still not really made my mind up if I like it or not, but I think what we need to remember is Sami Zayn has been booked pretty badly over the long term of his main roster run. Sami Zayn's now technically got a title shot, and if rumours are to be believed, he will be involved in a title opportunity match at Fastlane as well in that Fatal 5-Way. So Sami Zayn's in the spotlight. He's in the main event scene of Smackdown, which is excellent. That's what we've wanted for Sami for a long time. And albeit it's through sort of smoke and mirrors and stuff, he's there. So I can't complain. I just wonder what they're going to do with that match, because this whole thing going on with Sami, Kevin, AJ, Shane and Daniel, it's a bit of a cluster at the moment.
I think you'll probably get Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon involved in it again somehow. And I think I'm sort of getting the feeling and impression I was getting when when Kevin Owens and Jericho were starting to come to an end of their friendship storyline. So I'm sort of getting that feeling with these two now. I got a feeling we're definitely going to see Kevin Owens and Sami at WrestleMania again, which I'm happy with. And I also think you're going to get Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon, like I said, involved in potentially leading a match between those two at Mania. Which it's not my ideal opponent for Daniel Bryan. Obviously, we're speculating here, but like the last couple of times Shane's been in the ring, he's pulled his weight, and the last time he was involved in a singles match, it was arguably match of the night. So you can say what you want that belonged to AJ Styles or whatever, but Shane played his part in it. So who knows? We'll see how it goes. But it's not an ideal match when we come back to it. But like I said, we're sort of speculating and just maybe slightly getting carried away with that.
Yeah, I still don't think we'll see Daniel wrestle in a WWE ring. I don't know what's going on, but I don't see it happening. And I personally wouldn't want it to be Shane. I know Shane has been alright in his matches. He's not looked terrible, but maybe you could argue that he's been carried by the other guys who are both top class athletes.
Yeah. I would love to see Daniel Bryan, Sami Zayn.
Oh my god!
I think Sami's probably top 5 in the company.
See, for wrestling ability, I agree. Definitely.
I think he's sensational. It really is, and I think that would be a really, really good match, and a match that everybody would love. But obviously, we're just sort of getting carried away, but why not?
So, the Mr. Angle announced this week that the Royal Rumble, the Women's Royal Rumble, is going to be 30 competitors. There are not 30 competitors on the main roster for the women. Is that? I'm right in saying that, am I right?
Definitely. Because there's maybe... How many were in the ring in Smackdown? On Raw when Stephanie made the announcement. There was probably maybe
13 or something like that.
Was it 13 as many as that?
Roughly between 10 and 15. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there was a good few.
Alexa Bliss was in the ring as well, wasn't she? She was.
Yes.
So you'd assume, why would she be in the Rumble?
Aye, she wouldn't be. That's the thing. You're going to have at least one women's title match, or you're going to have at least. If you're not going to have a women's title match, then there will be 2 women not wrestling at the event.
And one of those women are Charlotte, and she should be wrestling.
Exactly.
See, I think the idea could have been for Alexa Bliss to take on Paige at the Royal Rumble. Obviously, that could be out the window due to Paige's injury. And I would say that. Did you see the video of that injury?
I've not actually, no.
Oh, it was what it was. It was Sasha was at the turnbuckle. Paige at the back. Sasha's jumped up in the turnbuckle and sort of kicked Paige in the back, and just fell down. It doesn't look that bad, but a lot of people are saying that, well, you know, she's had a history of like neck or back or whatever injuries it was, so she shouldn't have done it. I didn't think it was too reckless, if I'm honest, but it was just when you saw Paige was sort of crawling, you could see she was in a sort of slightly bad way. She tries to take it up, and she just gives out, and it looked quite frightening, to be honest. Like, you could tell she was really, really struggling. As soon as that happened, you saw the ref straight away doing the X, and everyone stopped, and he went down to check on her, but it was quite frightening, actually, just seeing her in that state.
Aye, but she's all right.
I have not heard anything since. I'm not entirely sure.
Was she on Raw?
I don't think so. I can't remember.
What did you think of the Asuka Bliss match? I wanted your opinion on this one.
I think I didn't need to see it.
Aye. Aye.
Like, I love the fact that Asuka win. If it was any other, if she didn't win, you know, I would have been fuming. But that's your women's champ. You know, you don't need to put her in a position. You could have gone with something else there. You know, it's sort of good and bad. Like I said, I like the fact that Asuka's unbeaten. She still looks strong as hell. But at the same time, like, Alexa Bliss hasn't wrestled in a hell of a long time. This is the first match back. Top of that, you have your champion losing like that. So it was, you know.
There's an argument for both sides of it. You've got your champion losing, and it was another match where I know you weren't a big fan of Asuka's main roster match with Emma because it was competitive. Mm-hmm. And this was competitive. I know Alexa was doing the whole trying to run out the ring and stuff, but I don't know if I'm happy with Alexa getting a lot of offense in. I didn't believe that.
Yeah, I see what you mean, but at the same time, and I'm now going to almost contradict what I said a few weeks back about Asuka coming up, is I kind of don't mind it because she's a champ and she's been booked quite well recently. She's been champ for a long time, like obviously been in winning it, losing it, winning it, etc. But so I don't mind it too much. Like I said, I think I could have done without the match. I didn't need to see it. Just purely because it's like, for me, it's almost like a lose-lose situation.
Still think Alexa's got a lot to do in the ring. Her character's fine, no issues with her character, and like what she does in and around the ring, psychology-wise, is good, but just general technical ability, she's still quite botch-heavy. And she couldn't really get Asuka into a groove. And I think went so well with Asuka doing the whole jobber matches, squashing everyone, and then Paige comes in and she's acting all coy and stepping back. Don't know, maybe I just wasn't into that match, but it's clear that Asuka's wanting to be. They've obviously had a couple of back and forths with each other, so it's looking like Asuka's going to be a fun favourite for the Rumble.
Oh, I think I'd be stunned otherwise if she didn't win it. I really, really would. Because I would actually like it to be Asuka and Sasha Banks at Mania. Which obviously involves Sasha winning it beforehand, because like I said, Asuka, I'll say it right now, that Asuka is going to be my pick for the Women's Rumble. I think that's the right way to go. I think that should happen. I think it will happen.
Aye.
It's just who the other women are going to be, and I've read there's going to be people coming up from NXT, and I hope it's like that sort of one-off sort of thing. They just come up for a Rumble and they play up to the storyline. Look at that, NXT women are coming up, and they could have a chance to go to WrestleMania. Because I don't know if any of them in NXT are even ready to come up at the moment, or they need to come up at the moment. And then there's also rumours of former women wrestlers. Beth Phoenix has joined the commentary team, I think, for that mixed match challenge.
She has, as well. Yeah.
So people are thinking maybe she's going to come into a Rumble, which would be excellent because she carried that division for a long time when there was no real competitors at all. I thought she was really good. So it'd be quite fun to have her back. And then you never know, you could maybe potentially get somebody like Lita or Trish Stratus, or unlikely, and it probably won't happen, but just imagine if somebody like AJ Lee came back. But that's not going to happen, but you just never know, do you?
There will be a few surprises, definitely. And going back to what you said, Asuka is my favourite, barring any rumours of 4 horsewomen coming in. It's just, on paper, Asuka's unbeatable. There's an outsider bet of Nia Jax, but she's got this thing going on with Enzo at the moment.
See, I think the Nia Jax thing will be like that whole, how when Mark Henry or Khali or Show used to come into the Rumble, would eliminate some people and then everybody would gang up on them and just sort of toss her out.
Aye.
So that way you sort of somewhat protect her as well.
And I think an outsider bet for myself is Becky. She's back after filming the Marine 17 or whatever it was. She's been quite quiet recently, like a good few months quiet on Smackdown, and I think it'd be quite good to see her. I know that Charlotte and Becky had a really good match at 2016 Royal Rumble. I really liked that. I think Becky's actually quite underrated. She gets lost in the shuffle quite a bit, and I don't think that's fair on her. I think she can definitely hold her own. So I would not be annoyed at all if she won. That would be a good feel-good win, I think. But Scott, I mean, nobody's ready for Asuka, Ricky.
No, nobody is, and that's the way they have to go. I know you just said Becky. I would like to see Charlotte Becky at WrestleMania. So I think that would be an interesting as well match. By the way, so the men's Rumble generally lasts what? About an hour?
Usually.
Because it's 30 guys obviously, and is it 1 or 2 minutes in between each entrance? I think it's 2 in it. Was it 90 seconds? I got a feeling it's 90 seconds. 2 would be too much because that's an hour just to get guys in.
Aye.
So it's like 90 seconds. So what you're looking at, that's about 45 minutes. Add on sort of 5 minutes at the end or so. So you're looking at around about 55 odd minutes. The women's, I don't know if they'll wait 90 seconds between each one, and if they do, then that's probably about 2 hours of the Rumble taken up, and then you still need to get the 2 world title matches in.
You'll have the 2 mid-card title matches. I imagine the final will happen at the US. The US title final of the tournament will happen at that event, and Roman Reigns has been a fighting champion, so he's going to be fighting someone, maybe Samoa Joe.
He needs to lose that title, I think.
Before the Rumble?
He has to.
Well, we need to do it very soon then.
I know, because we've got 3 weeks. Because you imagine, like, him retaining the title and then getting into a Rumble. Like, it was the same as last year where he lost to KO and Jericho, wasn't it? And then he came in at number 30. I'm sure it was a 2-on-1. Was that when Jericho was in the Shark Tank? Was that match?
Yeah, that was a Shark Tank match. Yeah.
So, like it says, like when that happened, even I was like, "You have got to be fucking kidding me!" Like, and I know the whole point of that him coming in was to set up the Taken one, but like, just you need to use your brain here. Like, you don't want to give it more heat, and on top of that, you know where the Rumble's being held. It's in Philly, so
Jesus.
You know what I mean. So like, and normally it doesn't. Sometimes when it's a Rumble or Mania, etc., it doesn't really matter where it's been held because you're still going to get that hardcore fan base going out because it's the second biggest pay-per-view that they've got. So I think he has to, but I don't think he will. But he has to defend it, and even if I would actually be up for if he defended the Rumble and lost it in the Rumble. and then still come into the Rumble match, but then he was eliminated. Because then you're still like, right, well, we're not going to ram him down your throat, so to say, and we'll take some of the heat off him a little bit, but I would like him to lose it, because as much as I love him, like I say, when he win it, he doesn't need it. So now you could it's just a case of when the Rumble to Mania, it's just a case of Roman's road to getting a title shot.
Well, if he is going to lose it soon, there are two contenders. He's obviously had an impressive few weeks with Samoa Joe. Really like that match that they had on Monday night there.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that stipulation where if you get disqualified, you're going to lose the title.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good stipulation, actually. But another contender is a certain Mr. Mizanin, who is also returning from filming duty.
Yep. And
they've made a big hoorah about it with the returning next week video. Can you believe? I would never have thought 12 months ago that I would have said this. I'm excited for the Miz coming back.
Should be the guys. The guy's fantastic.
I've got two possibilities for what they'll do with the Miz when he comes back. He'll either insert himself into the IC title scene, or possibly this whole thing with the Balor Bullet Club thing that's going on at the moment, with Finn Balor and the club getting back and forming a trio, basically. Would we possibly see... So let's say the Miz wins the IC title quickly, and then at the next pay-per-view, the Miz Taraj take on the club, the Bullet Club, Balor Club, whatever you want to call it, and that leads to a Finn Miz IC title match at Mania.
Love it. Love it.
Do you?
I love that. I love that.
Thank you very much. I'll phone Vince just now then.
Aye, do it. Tweet Triple H. I absolutely love that idea. That's excellent, actually. That's really good.
What would you do with Samoa Joe then? Win the Rumble?
Nah, it's Nakamura's winning it.
I don't know about that anymore, actually.
No, John Cena. Joe Cena at Mania.
Oh wow, I would love that.
Shout out to Michael Wiseman, because that's a match he's desperate to see as well. That would be amazing.
Right.
But
that is a WrestleMania match.
There's speculation about Undertaker. Obviously, he's appearing at the 25th anniversary Raw. Is that the Raw? Is that the Go Home Raw?
Yep.
Yep. So apparently, and there's rumours he's coming, and he's going to do an angle for his match at Mania. And apparently, the other rumours are that we're definitely not going to get Cena AJ Styles. Apparently, Cena's got a much bigger match lined up. What that means, or who against, I don't know.
Aye. See, the whole thing with Nakamura, I'm trying to get the rules right in my head. There are rumours being that at Fastlane, there's going to be a fatal five-way for the title. AJ, Kevin, Sami, Naka and Orton. So if Nakamura's in a title match at Fastlane, then why would he be in that title match if he's already got a title shot at WrestleMania, guaranteed?
That's a good point. Unless that is just a rumour, though.
I know.
You know, that might just be put out there just to throw everyone off the scent of potentially Nakamura winning it, the Rumble. Perhaps, maybe not. But there's also another picture, and I think it was someone just done it themselves at the Elimination Chamber. Yep. It was Brock, Roman, Braun, Cesaro, Finn, and I can't remember who the final person is now. But anyway, and the big thing about that was that the title was around Braun's shoulder.
Where did you see this?
It was on Twitter.
Just on Twitter, aye.
On Twitter, it was some... I don't know where it was. I don't know if it was the city that Fastlane's in had that advertisement up, but a lot of people are saying that it's a fake one, so we don't really know. And if that's the case, that means Braun beats wins the title at Rumble by pinning Kane, and Brock will win the Elimination Chamber, win the title back.
Well, I would rather that Braun kept it for a bit longer than that, but at least they're going to do something instead of make it an inevitable Brock defeats Kane at the Rumble.
Mm-hmm. So like I say, it's probably most likely 100% a fake, but again, you just never know. It's again, it just puts that wee bad doubt in your mind, but I would be very, very surprised at that. And then you'd go ahead and say, right, what would you now do with Braun?
Aye. If you give us a couple of seconds, folks, Barry's ready to join, so I'm going to invite our on and off co-host on. Give us right back after this pause. Welcome, Barry. Glad to have you back on the show. How are you doing?
Hi, good evening, everybody, and a Happy New Year to all listeners out there.
Forgot to do that at the start of the show. Happy New Year to one and all.
Happy New Year, guys.
So, Barry, we were just discussing, is there a possibility that there's going to be a different than expected outcome in the Universal title triple threat match? What are your thoughts on that?
I've not really thought that far ahead, actually. I've not thought about that possibility. I've just expected a Lesnar win, really. It's an interesting curveball. Whoever thought of that idea deserves a round of applause. Possibly, but what are you going all nines are then to be Roman and Braun for the title at Mania? Well,
it's possible that, let's say for instance, like see if they put Kane on the title, Kane as the champ, then we've been trying to be very positive about WWE tonight, but if they put the title on Kane, then I'm handing in my season ticket, I'll tell you that right now.
Well, the fact he's 20 plus years now in WWE, and even before then you can include that Glenn Jacobs, his character was that Isaac Yankem, so you can even include that. So in that terms, I think now that you've mentioned the curveball, he might win it.
Oh, come
and
on,
I wouldn't have a problem with it, and then he'd lose it at the Elimination Chamber.
I think
that's a possibility.
I couldn't handle Kane being the champ. There's just no need for him. I would start crying.
Wouldn't it be there's been surprising title holders the last few years, but that wouldn't be the biggest surprise. I would be for it, because I don't think it would last long.
Well, we know what's going to happen at WrestleMania then. It will be Kane versus The Undertaker for the title.
I was just got an impression he did lose it at the Chamber. So that's maybe a possibility. So I could see maybe losing it to Braun. Well, if they had no plans of Lesnar winning the title match, say he lost it to Braun, then it was Braun and Roman for the title. It would be quite exciting to see Braun getting Mania as the champ, but that's a bit far-fetched, I think. So.
Well, there are quite regularly title changes in chamber matches, so maybe it could change at the Rumble and go back on to Brock at the chamber, so we'll see. But
I would imagine if Brock was the champ going into his chamber, it would be a number one contenders chambers match, I think he'd be involved in it. You never know. It'd be quite exciting if it's his farewells year. He might want to have a wee chamber before he goes. So.
I thought that as well. I thought it would be a number one contenders match in the chamber as opposed to a title match in the chamber as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I've said it'd be quite surprising if Brock didn't win the title. Didn't retain the title at Rumble. Very surprising.
Yeah.
So there's been obviously we've talked quite a bit tonight already about Raw, Barry. Not everything, but my favourite bit on Raw, if there's anyone who follows me on social media or on the column forums or whatever, I am loving the blue hell out of Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins and Kurt Angle storyline that's going on just now. I can't get enough of it. There was concerns last week that when Jason Jordan won the tag titles, that they just basically nixed the possible potential heel turn idea. But straight away this week, they've not changed plans at all. The dynamic is that Jason Jordan's ego has just been stroked even more. He thinks he's excellent, and he's not willing to take on any advice from basically now a well-rounded veteran, and arguably the sort of most over babyface of the company in Seth Rollins. He's not taking on his mentor's advice, acting like an arsehole. I don't know what it means for lead up to Mania, if it's going to be Jason versus Seth since Dean's injured, Jason versus Angle, or Seth versus Angle. It's hard to tell, but I'm enjoying myself at the moment. What are your thoughts on this wee storyline, Barry?
It's becoming interesting. The only issue is that Jason Jordan's still, in my eyes, still can't get over with the crowd.
I think that's the point, though.
And I think, if I'm honest, they've tried for a few months now, potentially since the Angle father storyline. But I think they've actually now, after I've watched Raw there, they've now realised what they're going to do to get him over. And it was the whole backstage bit with him, Seth and Roman, and they started acting dead stupid and came in and sort of started instructing them what to do, and they looked at him stupid and the crowd were sort of laughing. I think he's going to come across a sort of daft, sort of funny character now, and the fans will take to that.
See, but I don't think they're wanting, according to Kurt Angle, he said in a podcast or a radio show interview that the plan, the storyline that they've got going on with Jordan, they knew that the fan reaction would be like that all along. Kurt Angle's my dad, this is great, I'm going to really enjoy my time, and then I'm going to start acting like a spoiled kid, an arsehole. And I think that apparently this sort of cringe fan reaction is what they knew would happen, and it's a long game. So
see, I don't buy that at all.
Why not?
It's not believable enough.
Mm-hmm. No, exactly. That's it.
It just isn't. I think he turns on Seth at some point.
Aye.
And I think could get Seth versus Jason Jordan. And I don't know when. Maybe at Mania. I don't know. Maybe before it. But I think we're going to get that. And I'd be down for it. I'd be kind of happy with that. I think that'd be a real good match.
I think it would, and I think the only sort of small gripe I have with it is Seth Rollins has had a top-notch year, basically since Mania, before Mania, but his whole redemption story's been excellent. I don't know if while I'm in Jason Jordan's story, I don't know if he's ready for a massive match at Mania.
See, he may not be, but I think everything we saw from him in the ring suggests that he's terrific in the ring. So I think that, because he's done well against Cena, done well against Reigns, like he's looked excellent. So I think it could work. I think it'll be an interesting dynamic as well.
I think it will be I think he will be involved in some sort of. He'll have his big singles WrestleMania match, I think, this year. Just based on the fact that he's proved himself against the stars you just mentioned there. So he'll be like, I deserve some sort of spot at Mania. So rather than building it for a couple of years and then giving it a couple of years' time, I think that would be a big enough match for him if it was him and Seth. I could see that possibly happening now that Dean's injured. If they're not the champs get in to Mania, I'd be swaying that that'll be the match between the two.
Have we spoken on the pod since Dean got injured?
Nope. I think I see the night we were doing the best of 2017 for the review, whatever. It just had the surgery that day. I think you confirmed to me that he was going to be out for a long time.
Well, it looks certain now that he's going to miss Mania, so that is devastating news, to be honest.
I heard somewhere it was 9 months.
Aye, it's going to be a long time, and that's a real shame. He was the
It was
Iron Man.
unbelievable, actually, sorry to interrupt, but it was these records and stuff they were saying. How many matches he'd competed in since basically he's come into it with the Shield. Apparently I think he was the top for as many matches over that time of years. Somebody like Cesaro or somebody that was no far behind him. Don't think Cesaro, somebody else.
I think it was
one of the Usos it was behind him.
Aye, so it was, you're right.
But he's overtaken him now. Jey Uso is now the official Iron Man of WWE. Just for consistency and constantly being used on telly all the time and all the house show matches and stuff like that. But it's still a shame. Like Dean, I've never been fed up with Dean. I know they've possibly exhausted all they can do with him as a babyface, but I've always enjoyed Dean ever since the whole breakup of the Shield in the first place, when Dean was on the chase with Seth the whole time. Then the early start of 2016, where they kept teasing him winning the title. Funnily enough, his actual title reign was a bit off for some reason, don't know why, but I've always enjoyed him, so it was quite sad to see him not involved in Mania, especially after he was relegated to the pre-show last year.
These kind of injuries can be a godsend to people sometimes, though, because that could be like maybe get a big shot at Mania next year, possible title wins, you know, it can lead to stuff like that.
Aye.
So, you could easily run the storyline that when he comes back, you'll have you could pretend the Shield are getting back together or whatever, and he could just come out and attack Seth and be like, the only guy that came and saw me was Roman, you never cared, you're selfish, you always have been, sort of thing, and he goes after Seth, and you could play it off, and then that way you can go either way. Seth's the heel or Dean's the heel, you can go either way then.
Interesting times. We'll see what happens. Like the whole Seth and Dean, I was adamant on seeing Dean turn heel for a while, or like one of them turning heel on each other again and having a blow-off feud. I've said before on the podcast that I would love to see them in an Iron Man match, but I enjoyed their run as tag team so much, and I've really taken to Seth. I've always enjoyed them, like accepted them, but these last few months I'm hot on Seth at the moment. That sounds a wee bit frisky.
Seth's a good guy anyway.
He's a handsome fella, he's a CrossFit Jesus after all, but just the work he's putting into his character, he's considering when they tried to do the sort of face turn with him when Triple H screwed him, when Kevin Owens won the Universal title, and he wasn't really like getting cheered properly. See now, since the whole thing with Triple H and then reuniting with Dean, he is one over fella right now. He's everything about him is amazing right now.
Aye, I'm all for him. It was since that Triple H match he came back into it. But I think the reason that you're saying before that, when he was screwed with Triple H, something's telling me I think he was sort of rushed back for that first injury anyway, so I think he was always just down the back of his head that it was going to happen again, and it did, and then nearly missed Mania. I still believe that was a legit injury, although it was discussed a few times on here that it might have been a work, but I'm certain the majority of that was legit.
I think it was. They wouldn't risk so much TV just for him not like to come back, so I'm happy for the chap. I'm trying to think what else we need to cover, Barry. Is there anything else that you want to talk about? As I said, we've talked about quite a few things, but is there any burning issues you want to address from the last couple of weeks?
If you spoke about Raw, the fact that how damn good the Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe match was.
We touched on that. It was an excellent match.
What a way to start the year. Electricity galore. I think it was actually, you can always tell a great match in Raw. I'm sure it was like 2 breaks worth. Certainly was a second break for that, and I think this is easily a pay-per-view material.
It did go on for a fair while, because the ref was trying to stop the match as well, which is quite interesting.
That's right, aye.
So I says to Clive earlier on, I think I would like to see Roman drop the title before he goes to the Rumble, because I would like to see that title defended at the Rumble, but I don't want to see Roman defend it and get into the Rumble again like he done last year. I don't think that would go over too well. So we've basically got like a couple of weeks, 3 weeks ultimately, for him to drop the title.
I thought he was going to drop it there actually.
So
and Raw there, so I don't know where they'll go with that. There'll be a sort of Sheamus, Cesaro, Ambrose, Rollins sort of title change somewhere down the line there. Just an unexpected out of the blue, I think. Potentially, you could be right, could be like the Raw before Mania. Maybe we've got this Raw 25 year thing coming up as well, so you're expecting some sort of controversy and something big, unexpected to happen like that.
Well, there probably will be, but it's probably just going to be a nostalgia fest.
It will be, but it needs something to remember it by, so there'll be a couple of title matches at that. I would be surprised if there isn't.
Good point, actually. Maybe that's when Roman loses the IC title.
Aye, I'd mark your calendars, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. there's definitely they're going to have something at that event to remember it by anyway. There'll be a few things they always do that with these big events, big Raw events anyway.
I think we'll see the Miz eat a Stone Cold Stunner and a Rock Bottom probably.
He's returning next week, isn't he?
Oh aye, yep. That'll be good. Just to see what they're going to do with him.
Mm-hmm. See, this could be his. Yeah, I know he had the match with Xena at Mania, singles match. It didn't go down too well at the time with myself and majority of the WWE universe, but he's still due a singles match one-on-one with somebody at Mania.
Aye, like a proper feud match.
Aye. You think about it, it's been unfortunate over the years. I think he's probably, could be wrong, I'm certain he's missed a couple for injury. He's been involved in gimmick matches and he's never really had tag matches. He's never really had a one-on-one match with somebody apart from the Xena that I can remember.
Well, I was saying earlier that I think there's a possibility with this Finn Balor Bullet Club thing going on. I think there's a possibility that they'll face the Miztourage at some point, and it could lead to a Miz Finn IC title match at Mania.
That'd be great. Actually, I'd be all for that.
I think it would do Finn a world of good. Get him involved in more TV segments. For me, I don't care if someone can't talk properly as long as they can wrestle well. But obviously, Vince likes guys who can have good non-wrestling segments. So get him in a lot of Miz TV stuff. Then I'm all for. I would be quite happy with that match.
I've not been that disappointed with Finn on the mic. Actually, I thought it was pretty good.
I've got no issues. Probably because we're from Scotland. We're used to hearing folk talk like that.
Mm-hmm. No, but it seems as if he knows what he's talking about and stuff. There's people just in the mic get this choke.
I've got
Roman, but other people just know. I don't know. I don't get it. I didn't know that. It was news to me.
What, that Vince doesn't like him?
No, I knew he didn't like him. I didn't know he had a problem with his mic skills.
I'm just guessing basically.
Oh, yeah, right.
The whole thing keeps popping up on the internet that Vince doesn't think Finn's over, even though that's all Vince's fault.
Well, to be fair, I found it quite surprising, just because I wasn't sure where he was going with his character, that backstage he brought that up again, the fact he's never had his one-on-one rematch for the Universal title. And I know it led to him saying he was going to enter the Rumble, but it's just still that at the back of your head. I think, is he going to be doing something with the Universal title shortly?
Possibly. It makes me really, really want Lesnar not to renew his contract, or even if he just loses the title at Mania, then that opens up a whole new avenue for lots of different matches for the title again.
Mm.
So that would be definitely. This was the next wee segment I was wanting to talk about. What would I like to happen in 2018? And it would be, first and foremost, to get that belt off Brock Lesnar and give it to a full-timer. Raw's been good, but
I
know Raw has been good, but the main event scene, it could do with a bit more sort of clarity instead of just number one contender matches all the time. So get that belt off him, even if it is Roman Reigns, who's not my favourite wrestler in the world. Just get it off him and get rid of him. If Brock Lesnar's never seen again, I wouldn't be that annoyed, to be honest with you. Ricky, any thoughts?
I agree with what Lesnar told the title, and I think he will at Mania. I would like to see Braun get the title for a somewhat decent amount of time. And this is probably more wishful thinking than anything else. I would love to see and hope CM Punk returns.
Oh no, that's again.
Obviously. So that's about it. Nothing. Like I say, more than if I would say Braun to get the title for a decent amount of time.
And he's the most dominant force on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, definitely.
Did you hear what he said in Raw with Heath Slater and Rhino? He was talking about get these hands.
What was that?
Basically, during the match with Rhino, Heath Slater was that is his name. Heath Slater was running about the ring, and Braun just grabbed the mic and said, "You've got two options. You can either fucking come in the ring and get these hands, or do whatever." It's just the way he said it. That Rich Latter was absolutely loving it. Get these hands. That should be the new this is a new t-shirt, so get these hands, Braun Strowman style. I think another wish for me would be, first and foremost, to calm down with the part-timer stuff. Too much is relied on for the part-timers, and that was shown quite clearly in the Survivor Series main event. It was just ended up turning into a farce. But another one would be for the NXT call-ups to be handled with a bit more care than they have been. There's quite a few of them this year. Your Nakamura's, Bobby Roode, Revival, fair enough, that was through injury, but that couldn't be helped. Ty Dillinger, most of them on Smackdown, funnily enough, but Smackdown was quite bad for a while. Just, if they're going to come up, give them a purpose, and just don't bring them up just because it's the Raw after WrestleMania. Give them a story that's going to get them in focus straight away, instead of just, right, we'll put them over a jobber in the Raw after WrestleMania. They'll win a couple of matches, then they won't be seen again for a few months until it's time to put them in some sort of programme. Bring them up with a programme in mind. So that's my wish. I can't see that happening. There's probably going to be random call-ups. But that's my main wish, I would say. Barry?
A few. I would say, like, as to actually see Shinsuke Nakamura come out of his shell.
Yeah.
And become a proper, the superstar that we all know they can be. If he's allowed to do that and perform the way he can be, then I'd like to see that happen. He, by the way, is probably one of my picks for the Rumble this year. I would like to see Daniel Bryan have his in-ring return. I'm hoping it's at WrestleMania, but that's wishful thinking a lot.
Apparently he's going to find out his status before Mania.
Oh, greatness.
I know.
Absolutely brilliant. So there you go. That dream could be coming closer. I would just like to see the tag team division grow and grow, because I think was the shining light of one of the shining lights of 2017 anyway.
Definitely the latter half. The second half of 2017 was basically the tag teams were just stealing the show. Every fucking pay-per-view, the best match of the night was a tag match.
Aye, can't argue with that. That's definitely true. I think it's a far-fetched sort of scenario. It's just something I picked up a few weeks ago on the show, that the whole Omega thing is a work of Vince McMahon, and Omega will be on WWE telly sooner than you think. It won't happen now, but obviously I'd say at the time it would have been good if Jericho fought Omega at Mania. Say the two of them had a spat in the Rumble or something, but it's probably too soon for it to happen. But that's my far-fetched prediction of the year. And I think there's a possibility we might see Undertaker in another match, potentially at Mania this year.
I don't know if I want that though. He looked done last year. He looked absolutely done.
Who, Taker?
Aye.
He's been done for a few years now.
Aye.
Look. And the thing, it was quite sad as well to see him last year. It was just really sad. And I'd rather not go through that again.
The only match I'd really want to see is him and Cena.
See, I would love to see that as well, but
I would have loved to see it a couple of years ago.
Aye, when it was
a wee bit better.
Probably the Hell in a Cell Triple H match up to them was probably one of the last performances he put in. I must say, one of his best performances I've seen over the last 10 years when his career was winding down was the CM Punk match. That was arguably one of the best matches that year at the Mania. Alright, Punk probably carried him through the match, but I still thought he performed really well. Apart from if it was him and Cena, should have happened a few years ago, but if it's not going to be that, then a potential guy, I suppose it could probably be Braun Strowman. But I've in fear that he might kill him that night. Really, kill him. There's no need to mention is he retired or not. Is he dead or not?
Aye, really is. You can't kill a dead man, though, that's the thing.
Aye.
Right, so
there you go, that's my hot picks for 2K18.
2K18, sponsored by Snoop Dogg's rap. Right, so will we get on and close the show with our usual traditional quiz then?
Yep. Yes.
Excuse me, Barry. I'll splice in. I'll splice in the quiz when I'm good and ready, and that's right now.
It's fucking quiz time with Ricky and Clive and friends. A fucking WWE quiz.
Right, so to celebrate Chris Jericho basically kind of crossing over into New Japan Pro Wrestling, I have devised a quiz today that is celebrating Japanese wrestlers in the WWE, and I had a bit of time to skive and work today, and I went overboard, and there are 11 questions.
Oh, this is very... You just started this about 20 minutes ago.
And there's a couple of bonus points. They're not actually that hard. Some of them might be, right? So, number 1, name the only...
Taka Michinoku.
Number 1, name the only Japanese wrestler to be a main roster champion in 2017.
I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool.
Okay.
Tozawa.
Correct, well done. 1-0 to you, Ricky. Number 2, name the Japanese wrestler who held both the light heavyweight and the cruiserweight titles.
It's BSE.
Okay, Barry.
Tajiri.
Correct. See, they're not that hard. Number 3, who was the first light heavyweight champion? Well, I give
Total guess, but it's BSE.
Right.
Taka Michinoku.
Correct.
Why did you not get?
I know.
I think that was going to be the clue he was going to give.
Your fucking favourite ever wrestler, Ricky.
I had somebody else in mind at first, but he's quite looking back in my head.
Here's a bonus point. Who was his world title match against?
World title?
Yep, he had a WWF title match one night on Raw. I'll give you a clue.
If you want.
He had backup from the Acolyte Protection Agency that night.
Who did Taka or the guy who's fighting?
Taka.
It's BSE.
Uh-huh.
Triple H.
Oh yes, it is. That's 3-1 to Barry.
I don't remember that at all.
I didn't, but it's the DPA hanging, it was through that whole McMahon-Helmsley era.
Right.
Number 4. What was Asuka's ring name before she became Asuka in NXT? If you don't know it, just say, and we can quickly move on.
I don't know it. I definitely don't know it.
Ricky? No, not Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
What was that?
He said, "Oh," and I said, "No, it wasn't Hacksaw Jim Duggan."
I spit in the face of people don't recall. Was it Kana?
Oh, it was. 3-2 to Barry. They're catching up. Right, this is a quick "Who am I?" question. I was on the Smackdown brand in the first brand split. My wife accompanied me to the ring. I was a former tag team champ. My gimmick was basically, I'm as Japanese as you're going to get.
It's BAZ.
Okay, Barry.
Funaki.
No. Ricky, do you want to chime in?
We got another one.
Well, I was hoping that JR would be on for this. The other one is, I was the NJPW Rookie of the Year 2000. Running out of clues. I'll give you one more clue. My tag team partner who I was tag champs with was Rene Dupree. I think you both kick yourself here.
Who the fuck?
Do you give up?
No.
I know who his actual tag team partner was when he first came into it, but now that you mentioned that.
I'm just going to have to guess. Was it something Suzuki?
Please tell me it was him.
Yes, it was.
Oh,
Like, Ken.
You there? What's happening?
Sorry, it just cut off there. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Did I get the point for that?
What did you?
you didn't answer.
What was the
You
first?
said the second name, was it?
Oh, it was like Kenza or Kenta or something, Suzuki.
It was Kenzo Suzuki.
So I get the point.
I'll give you the point.
Thanks.
3 each. In 1995, a Japanese wrestler called Hakushi had a short but memorable feud with Bret Hart. What did Hakushi bring to the ring as a threat to Bret Hart 1 week on Raw? Again, if you don't know it, just say.
I can remember the storyline, that's the thing with it.
Silence.
I'm just going to be guessing here because I remember something that's happening, but it's BSE.
Okay.
With some sort of... This is wrong, but I'm just guessing it. Some sort of fucking... I know he definitely felt like sort of powder in his eyes at one point. During a match.
No, it wasn't that.
I don't know. I'm alright, cool.
Ricky?
See, I was going to say something the same, so I'll just take a random guess. A gun.
No,
No idea.
it was the severed head of Bret Hart. You remember it now?
Can't remember that part. I remember the feud, but I don't remember that.
I brought a severed dummy head of Bret Hart out. So it's still 3 each. Number 7. When did Hideo Itami make his first main roster appearance?
When you mean main roster, you don't mean NXT?
No.
It's always a trick question anyway.
It is, yes.
It is, because he was up before.
He was on it that week. Does it have to be this date and there's just a year, do you mean?
No, just the pay-per-view.
Oh, right. It's me, BSE.
Okay.
The Royal Rumble.
Incorrect. Ricky?
Oh, actually, shit.
Thank you. It's I spit in the face of...
You there, Ricky?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
The Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
Which pay-per-view?
31.
Yep, 31, I heard you. You've got some sound issues there, Ricky. Don't know
I
what's
knew
going
that.
on.
I knew it was as soon as I said that, and then said I knew it, and it was that.
Is your sound alright, Ricky?
Yeah, can you hear me now? Sorry.
Yep, which wrestler's name was a reference to the highest rank in sumo wrestling?
I spit in the faces of people who don't be cool.
Yep,
Yokozuna.
well done.
Oh,
A bonus point. What was Yokozuna's real first name?
Face of people who don't be cool.
Right?
It was Joe. I don't know.
No. Barry?
it's me at BSE.
Mm-hmm.
John.
Oh, no,
John and
I remember
Yoko.
it.
No.
I remember it now.
Go on, tell us then. You don't get the point for this, but what is it?
I know. Rodney.
Aye.
I only found out like quite recently in the last couple of years that he wasn't actually Japanese. He was fucking Samoan.
Oh well, that's me just lost one of my questions then, isn't it?
Oh, fuck's sake.
The
The whole
question,
16 of them are probably quite glad I was in a few.
the fake
Just
bonus,
ask the question again anyway.
the fake bonus point was why does Yokozuna technically not belong in this quiz? And it's because he's not Japanese. So it's
There's no technically about it. It doesn't belong in it.
aye.
He's the Rock's brother.
I did it for the Rock. So that's 4-3 to Ricky. The tables have turned. Which WWE superstar still holds the record as the youngest IWGP Heavyweight Champion? So that's the New Japan Heavyweight Champ. The youngest ever. Which WWE superstar?
I spit in the face of people who don't be cool.
Okay.
That's current. It's got to be, surely has to be Naka.
Correct.
That's what I was saying.
It's 5-3. Good, Barry. Make it a draw. Which former tag team champ, this is from way back in the day, right, so you don't need to know that part, but which superstar became more famous as a manager for the likes of Don Muraco, Demolition?
It's me, it's BAG.
Yep.
Mr. Fuji.
Correct. Oh, it's fucking 5-4. And you might not get this last one at all, so it could end 5-4. Female tag team Jumping Bomb Angels were the only Japanese outfit to win what now defunct title? Jumping Bomb Angels, who were Norio Tateno and Itsuki Yamakaze. They were the only Japanese outfit to win what title which is now defunct?
Was it a WWE title then?
Yes.
I spit in the face of people who don't be cool.
Mm-hmm.
The women's WWF tag titles.
Oh, well.
That would be the pretty much simplest guess, I suppose.
That's right.
Like, I was trying to make it sound pure abstract as fuck. Like, when was this? This was years ago. But you did it. Well done. So, 6-4, was it? 6-5 or
Thanks.
something? Well done, Ricky.
It was 5-4, so.
5-4. Did you?
And it's 6 me, obviously, because you got that. So.
Aye. So, thanks for taking part in the quiz. Thanks for joining us, Barry, and thanks for joining us, Ricky.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for downloading and listening to us. Remember the information about the t-shirt giveaway. I'm not going to repeat it, so just rewind the programme and keep an ear out for further podcasts from SMC Wrestling Podcast, Keeping It Strong Style, and the One Nation Radio. So, thanks for listening, guys, and we'll speak to you next week. See you later.
Good night.
Take care, guys.